Hey everybody. Alright, coming to you live from out in the woods. It's going to be a very fun video. Okay, I'm loaded down with all kinds of gear. I woke up this morning, wasn't even thinking I was going to film, and I got a wonderful idea. Okay, a long time ago I knew about the area where these cool trees were, and long time ago I did a rope shelter. And I did it in some trees that weren't ideal. And these trees are more ideal. And this morning, and I was thinking to myself, I did this rope tree shelter years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago. And I didn't want to do it again. But then this morning it hit me how the survival blanket I made can be used with it. Okay? Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to have the tree shelter plus my survival blanket. Plus I'm adding these new shelves that I've made that are going to be cool. So I figure, why not a cool place to put it into the tree shelter? You know, I'll do all three of them. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to do these, and I'm going to lay out the gear. And another thing too is a lot of my newer viewers may not have seen that old video. So I'm going to redo it and add a new twist to it. So enough yakking. Let's dump our gear out on the ground and take a look at what I have, and then we'll get started. Alright, so let's get some of this gear off and get it dumped out on the ground here. Shed a little bit of this weight. Alright, a few more things I'll be mentioning throughout the video about this tree shelter and the whole idea behind it. Okay, now I'm not real sure how the ultimate survival blanket is going to work in this, because I've never used it in it. Okay, but first and foremost, I have my homemade ultimate survival blanket. Okay, question mark. And I changed the straps to these bungees instead of the paracord. Alright, now let's take a peek in here, see what we have in here. Alright, I got a grabber blanket for a roof. Got a German Army sniper sleeping bag. At least I think that's what it is. That's what it was advertised as. It's pretty old. But the thing about this is in the pouch it comes in, is I could just put it up there if I want to leave the tree shelter up. I got my shelves in here that I'm going to put up. And then I've got a coffee pot for making coffee. And then I've got a bag full of rope. Okay. So and there's some bungees in these side pouches for in case I need them. Alright, so there is the gear. Alright. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some rope out of here. See what we got here. We got 100 foot. We got 50 foot. We got another 50 foot. There you go. Alright. And I got 2 more hanks of rope back in the truck. And I got a funny feeling I really need to walk back and go ahead and get it, because I think I'm going to need it to add the survival blanket. So I'm probably going to go on back and get this, because I had packed this yesterday. I mean, I packed it this morning, and so I was in a hurry. But I'm going to grab that other rope, and then we're going to head over to the trees and get it done, or get it started. Alright, so there is the 4 great big oak trees. Okay. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over there and clear out some of those vines. Now, in the other tree shelter, if you remember from 5 years ago, I weaved a rope ladder from one end to the other. These trees are spread out so much more. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave a rope ladder on one side and then one on the other side coming up. I'm going to have them on both sides because these trees are kind of spread out a little bit. Alright? And I'm going to have to go up one tree, tie off, go down, come up, tie off. You know what I mean? Like when I'm on this side, if I can't reach this side, I'm going to have to throw the rope over and then come up and do something with it. But first things first. First thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to get over here and get some of these thorns out of the way. These old greenbrier thorns right here. Man, I hate them things. They get all snagged up on the rope and everything. All right. So I've got all these vines out of the way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start my rope ladder over here on one side. Now, the thing about this is, for those of you that about 2 videos back that saw my tree platform, now the idea with the tree platform is you're only limited to how high the ladder is. Now this particular tree shelter, if you bring enough rope, you can go up 50 feet. I mean, it's limitless what you can do, okay? Now, with that said, for the sake of filming, I think I'm only going to go up about 2 rungs, okay? But you'll get the basic idea. Last time when I did this, I went up 24 feet, and it was a doozy to film, okay? So, with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to go up enough just to get it up off the ground, you know, so that you can see, like last time, pay attention. I'm not going to be standing on the ground and reaching up and doing anything. I'm going to be doing everything from the rope ladder. That way you'll know that the height of the rope ladder dictates what you can put up in the trees. Okay? So, I'm going to start out, I'm going to probably put just a 2-rung ladder on this side and then a 2-rung on the other side. Okay? So, let's get you in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. You want to tie off on the, just tie around one tree. Now this tree here is about at the limit of what you want to do on how thick of a tree that you need to use. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do crisscross around this tree. Alright, I'm going to crisscross around here. And then crisscross around here. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around like that. And then I'm going to go back around and wrap around here. Let's get you over here where you can see. Alright, can you see that? What I have now is I have wrapped around in a cross and then I pulled them together like this. So what I'll be doing is I'll be standing over here on each edge like this. Now I don't know if I'm going to have enough to go up another rung, but I'm going to try. Now that took a lot more rope than I thought it would because the tree diameter is so huge. The bigger the tree, the better. And the higher up you go, the more it gets spread out. Okay, so I've got this one rope tied across here, and then I wrapped it around the tree and came up and tied around another one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing. So I'm going to have 2 rungs on this side and then 2 rungs on the other side. Now I hope I'm picking this up. As you can see, I've got 1 rung from there to there. You go up, I got 1 rung from there to there. On the back side, I went ahead and did an extra rung because these trees are so big that I had to use extra rope to get these rungs. And as you can see, they're kind of crossed over. And that's what you stand on. Alright? So I had the extra rope, so I went ahead and put an extra one on the back. Okay. Now I'm going to back the camera up and I'm going to show you how these are used, how you climb on them. Alright. Always helps to test them out first. So I'm going to climb up each side and make sure that the ropes hold no problem. No problem on this side. Now let's try the other side. Nope, no problem here. Now this is kind of a long distance scene here because this is a doozy to film. So I'm getting the camera way back and I'm not going to say much, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb up to the first step, climb up to the second step. Well, actually I made a stand on the first step, I believe, and because you lean your knees against this step. But I'm going to climb up and I'm going to tie off here, and then I'm going to have to walk over and around to this other tree to tie off, and then tie off to that tree, and then that tree. See, it's how I'm tying the four together for the bed. And once I get it tied off, once I get through walking back and forth tying off, what I'll do then is I'll just throw the rope over and walk around and then tie it off, and that's when I'm going to start looping. So this next scene may be a little boring, but just kind of have patience with me and just sort of watch what I'm doing. Alright, I got my first rope tied off right here, and I've got this set over here. Alright, there's my ladder part. Now I'm hoping you saw that last part good. And what I started doing is I weaved those two trees together and then weaved these together. And now I have thrown the rope over there. So I'm going to get up and weave those two trees together. Now I think after this scene, I'm going to try to figure out a way of getting I'm going to take my gorilla pod and try to mount it up in a tree, so that you can get a little bit better view of it. Alright, this is a doozy to film. Now I'm just hoping that you see what I see, because I can't see much with the sun glaring on me, and I can't see much because I've got that camera mounted in the tree over there. But if you can see where I've started weaving the shelter, I'm standing on the ground, is above my head, okay? Much more than that and I wouldn't be able to get a good view to film it. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to jump back up here. As you can see, what I've done is I have worked off of my my little rungs here. And what I have done is I have weaved back and forth. And so well, now what I've done is I have weaved. Let's see, my rope fell apart. Let me get this up. See, these things don't always turn out like they're planned. They just, you start setting up these shelters and filming them, and then they got a mind of their own. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to go around here. If I can get this all untangled. And then go around this tree. See, I'll go around a couple of times. And then what I'll do is I got my rope here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over here and duck under all this and wrap around that tree. I got such a maze of ropes here, I wound up getting messed up right there. So now I'm going to cross over. You always want the rope going on top of each other. Look at this. I put my head in here. Now see, the old rope shelter used to be nothing but rope and branches. And see, with the new one, with the old one, you relied on all this rope and the branches you weaved in between to hold you up. But the survival blanket that I made is so thick, it's just going to rest on these ropes. And hopefully it'll give you the support you need. So let's go around this tree here once more. So that I've got an X in the middle. Pull this tight, and I'm going to tie it off on this back tree, and hopefully we'll be done with the rope part. Y'all remember, I'm 50 years old. Oh me. Let's see. Alright, I have you haphazardly in another tree right over there, and I'm hoping you're just starting to get the gist of this layout I have of rope, this maze of Spider-Man type rope. So what I'm going to do now, I have my last little bit of rope here. I'm going to tie it off. And then will come the survival blanket on top. And I'll show you what I have in mind on how to do that. Right. Tie that jewel off and put a little stopper knot on it so it don't pull through. There you go. Alright, so we got our maze right here, and I'm hoping that you can see it. I'm going to put the camera back on the tripod and try to get a view from the bottom up so you can see the maze of rope that I have up here. Now I'm pretty sure that was a very lousy job of me filming that, so I'm just going to give you a full view of the 4 angles. Okay, there's my rope rung ladder looking things, and then there's the weaved platform. Alright, let's move around and get another view of it. Alright, and yet here's another view, okay, from the other side. There's the rungs, and then there's the platform. Now I can see that clearly on the camera right there. as you can see, I have this rope maze weaved all between the trees. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to lay the, now I mentioned on my tree platform and in my older video that you could run ropes across here as like a guardrail. Well, now this is where my survival blanket kicks in. And I'm going to show you about that, how it works with the shelter. Now here's kind of a nice far away view of it. You can see right there, rung platform, okay? You can see how kind of high it is off. Now the thing is if you bring enough rope, you can go as high as you want to because those 4 big stout trees. You know, as a matter of fact, this is the ideal platform for a permanent tree platform, okay? Now, having trees closer together makes these rope shelters easier, but they sure ain't comfortable. When they're spread out like this, they take more rope, but man, they sure are more comfortable. All right, now for those of you that saw my video a while back where I made my homemade survival blanket, and it kind of, the thought occurred to me a minute ago while I was filming. I called this the ultimate survival blanket. I got to quit calling it that because there's another dude here on YouTube that's got a channel called Ultimate Survival Tips, and I don't want to make it sound like it's his blanket or he invented it or, you know, none of that. So I'm just gonna, it's just gonna be, I'm gonna call it the rest of the time as my homemade survival blanket. Okay, because he's got an ultimate survival knife, so I got to thinking I don't need to even use the word ultimate on it. But anyway, if you remember in the other video, the way this thing is it's got a padded shoulder strap so that you can carry it, okay? And then it's got these loops right here. It's got these bungee cords, okay? I could use that to attach my shelf to the tree, or I could use it to attach my pack to the tree. And then I have some more bungee cords over there, okay? Now, let's pull this thing out. All right. This is my survival blanket. Hey, look at that. I didn't even know I had a tarp in there. Look at that. Now that's prepared. I didn't even know there was a tarp in there. All right, now this survival blanket has got, it's got these loops right here. Okay, now the basic idea between this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down on the platform, and then what these are is I'm going to run rope from tree to tree between all these loops, and that is going to make my handrail where it's going to kind of cradle me in. Okay, so let's run up there and throw it up there, and then I'm going to tie the rope off and run it through. We'll see how that works. Now what I'm going to do is on my handrails that I went through on that other side, I went on the outside of the tree, and on this one I'm going to go on the inside of the tree. That way, because if I go on the outside, I won't be able to climb over it as good on this ladder. So what I'm going to do, lift up on that as high as I can. Let's just go up another rung. Oh man, yeah, that's working perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to be on the inside of the tree, So I'm gonna go around like this, just like that. All right. And then what I got to do is I got to feed it through these loops. I wished I'd had smaller rope, because this is a doozy to do up here in this tree. All right, I got one of them done. Now you get the basic idea of what I'm doing here. Look at that, I should have fed that in through. Well, I can tie that end off on paracord. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, let's see. Hey, I think I can just feed it through and then tie it off without using all that rope. Let's just weave this off some. Look at that tree limb fell. I hope this reflective material isn't messing up the camera too bad. Yeah, I can do it this way. Alright, let's pull this around. Alright, there we go. I'm just going to leave this over here. Now I got my handrails up, so let's tie this off. Alright, I think I'm getting somewhere now. Now if I can just find a way of putting that tree without blinding you. Next step, let's throw the sleeping bag up here, okay? I think I'm gonna have room for it. Ah, me. Alrighty. Let's see how the length works out on this drill. I hope you're seeing all this. I got you mounted in a tree. I would do more of these, but they are so hard to film. Put my head. I'll put my head right at that end. Now it looks like my feet are going to hang off a little bit. Actually, I think I can tie that blanket off to give me some more headroom. That's going to be pretty close right there. Let me climb over here and see if it's going to hold my weight up. The moment of truth. Let's see, I'm on the second rung. All right, let me climb over. Put a foot in here. Way down. Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh, this is fantastic. I love it. Woo. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my double-decker shelf up right there, okay? I may just put the shelf up and I'm going to put up one shelf, and I don't think I'm going to put up more than one because this is so hard to film. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm going to film it on the ground and then I'm going to put it up here. That way you can get a better understanding of what it is. Because it's not that big a deal to set it up twice. Man, this is great. Oh, I could just sit up here all day. Alright, now to get out of here. Let's see. I think I'm going to go out under the handrail. Alright! My feet are touching the runner so I can just climb right out of here. That's awesome. No, wait a minute. I need to go over this rail. I don't want to get all tangled up and wind up hanging upside down. Oh, me. Alright, nope, I'm going to have to. Oh, me. 50-year-old dude out in the woods in a tree. Alright, slide through here, slide through there. It's much easier getting in than it is to get out. Alright. Alright, that took a little effort, but I'm out. Now, as a video maker, you get these ideas of what you want to film and how you want to do it and what you want to show, okay? And so I was like, okay, I'm going to build the ladder, build the tree shelter, put the survival blanket on it, and then show my shelf with my coffee setup, okay? But in reality, you try to start filming these things, and it's so hard to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the shelf down here on the ground because it's not that hard to set up down here, but it's such a cool shelf, I want you to see it. And then I'm going to put it up, you know, in my shelter to use it up there, okay? But in the meantime, I just, you know, I don't even know if I've got that other stuff filmed or not. Thankfully, the sun went down, so it makes it a little easier on me, all right? So let's take a peek right over here at this tree. I have to get you in closer. All right, whatever. Well, let me show you something right here. What I have in this bag, let's get you down on the ground where you can see the bag here, okay? And there I have my stove. There's a little light. And these are the shelves, okay? You can have a single shelf or a double decker shelf, and what they are is you can make them out of Lexan or plexiglass, but what I use is polycarbonate. It seems to be the tough stuff. But all it is it's just a piece of sawed out plastic, basically, with a V in it, two holes there, and one on the end. All right. I have one little one and I have two big ones. Okay, you can set the one up by itself, and then this one is a double decker. Now, I'm going to show you, let's see, let's ease over to this tree here. And I'm going to show you how this is done. And I'm going to be setting this up the same way once I'm in the shelter. Let's put this first one right here. About right here, okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this paracord. Which one do I need? Okay, let's grab some paracord. Alright, now what you want to do is you take it, you wrap it around the tree, alright, you try to find the center of it. Then what you do is you tie it off like that, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this around to the back. Alright, tie that off. Okay, so now you've got this piece of paracord like this. Yeah, you can see how it is. I got this paracord wrapped around. Okay, now I got these little mini bungee cords. Little tiny bungee cords. I got them in a pack at Harbor Freight. What you can do with them, okay, you clip it on here. Put it on here. And let's see. Come on. Clip it on there. Okay, so what I've got now is I have this shelf here hanging by this bungee cord. And so what you do now is you take this paracord and you drop it through the hole like that until you get the shelf level, and then you drop it through again and just let it dangle. Okay? And then you take the other one, do the same thing. I think I'm gonna move the camera so you can see a little bit better view of it. Actually, that's slipping, so I'm gonna have to go through it twice. Alright, so I'm gonna do the other side here now, and what you do with the paracord here is you just take it and you drop it through until it gets level. You drop it through again. Okay. And then you drop it through a third time. Okay. Now, like I said, this setup is going to be up in my tree. Now, for the other one, okay, same thing. Put your bungee cord in one hole. Move you back and down. Right about there. That'll work. Alright, now let's put this here. Put that on there. Alright, now you got this other shelf down here, and what you're going to do with it is you're going to drop it down. And then you're going to go through. Now I'm just going to tie it off on a knot here. Alright. And see, that'll be my shelf up there. Okay. Totally attaches to a tree. Now for extra strength, what I am going to do, for extra strength, I'm going to add an extra bungee cord on the top because I want to put a little bit more weight on the top one. I'll show you that in a minute. Alright. You could actually use a much bigger bungee cord, but that's the way that is. See, that bottom one I'll do so I can put my light on it. That way at night I'll have a shelf to put my light, and I'll put my cell phone right here. Okay? And then this up here at the top, I can put my stove. Because I don't burn wood up in those tree shelters. I don't like burning wood up in them. It's dangerous. Sometimes I use alcohol, but usually what I use is one of these little gas stoves right here. See, what you do right here is the way this thing's designed. Is you put your stove here, and then you can put your pot or your percolator or whatever up there. And see, the paracord is down below where the flame is. I have yet to melt one with this setup the way it is. See, isn't that neat? That's the shelf that you use for up in the tree. Isn't that cool? Now, if by chance this thing doesn't work, what you can do is I can take the other shelf and set it up with my large bungee cords and double the paracord out here. But that's a very handy thing, a very good homemade item right there. Oh, my. Woo! How much fun is this? All right, battery's almost dead, so I'm gonna have to deal with putting up my shelves later. How'd that get there? Let's crawl in and say goodbye. Look at all that. Got all kinds of stuff in here. Oh man. All right. This has absolutely got to be the most comfortable tree shelter I've ever made. And I don't even have a foam pad under me. You know, this big old thick blanket right here has really done wonders. And I think I might have to get some paracord and tie this up a little bit tighter. It's starting to fall. But there's pretty much no way I can fall out of it because I can barely get in it to begin with. But this was a very fun video. Hard to film, but I had a lot of fun. I hope y'all had a lot of fun. This is a fun project, and like I say in any of my videos, if there's anything that you ever feel is unsafe, don't do it, okay? And I hope you understood the shelves. Like I said, I'm gonna put them right here. It's just too much to film up here. It's so much easier down on the ground. So, all right, stay safe, stay happy, get off the couch, get out in the woods, and enjoy life before it's too late. And I shall see you in the next one. Oh. Now I know the video ended earlier, but I just kind of had to show something, because people say that a lot of times I'll make the videos make you feel like you're here. Well, the view I'm getting, I'm going to show you two of the views that I'm getting. Okay. Point of view. Looking out between my feet, that's what I see. Now, this is what prompted me to cut the camera back on. Hope I got enough battery to get this. Because when I'm laying here, the view that I am getting looking up is spectacular. For real. See you in the next one. Looking straight up between these 4 trees.